It was Christmas Eve, and the millionaire found himself alone in his grand, empty mansion. Despite all his wealth, the silence and loneliness weighed heavily on him, making the holiday feel hollow and joyless. Just when he thought the day would pass like any other, his new maid, a kind-hearted young woman with a warm smile, noticed his loneliness. She hesitated for a moment, but then boldly said, "Why don't you come have dinner at my place? My family would love to have you with us." At first he was taken aback. He had never been invited to someone's home like this, especially by someone from a completely different world. But something in her sincerity touched him, breaking through the walls he had built around himself. Accepting her invitation meant stepping out of his comfort zone, leaving behind the luxury he was so accustomed to, and entering a humble home filled with love, laughter, and warmth. That simple act of courage from the maid became the turning point of his holiday. Over dinner, he experienced a joy and companionship that money could never buy, the kind of genuine human connection that had been missing from his life for years. The evening was filled with stories, laughter, and the true spirit of Christmas, reminding him that happiness often comes from unexpected places. This small gesture, a simple invitation, transformed what would have been a lonely, sorrowful holiday into a memorable, heartwarming celebration. It was a powerful reminder that sometimes all it takes is someone noticing your loneliness and reaching out to change your life. And for the millionaire that Christmas, the smallest act of kindness became the most valuable gift of all. In a world where wealth often creates walls instead of bridges, this story beautifully shows how a small act of kindness can forge genuine human connections. The lonely millionaire, surrounded by riches but isolated in his grand mansion, thought he had everything, but in reality, he lacked the warmth and companionship that give life true meaning. His new maid, noticing the solitude that the holiday had amplified, extended a simple yet profound gesture, an invitation to share dinner with her family. This single act, coming from someone with little material wealth but abundant heart, bridged a gap that money could never fill. The evening at her home was more than just a meal. It was an immersion into laughter, conversation, and shared experiences that made the millionaire realize the true value of human connection. He witnessed how genuine warmth and kindness can break down barriers between people from completely different walks of life. It was a moment of awakening, a reminder that meaningful relationships are built not through status or possessions, but through empathy, openness, and the willingness to reach out. By accepting her invitation, he not only experienced the joy of companionship, but also contributed to it. Their interaction illustrates how even the smallest gestures, like offering an invitation, a smile, or a shared meal, can create lasting bonds and transform lives. The story emphasizes that the essence of human happiness lies in connection, understanding, and shared moments, rather than wealth or isolation. In the end, it was a heartwarming lesson. Kindness has the power to change not just the life of the one who receives it, but also the one who gives it. That simple act of welcoming someone into her home created a ripple effect, reminding us that human connection is the true wealth of life. What began as a lonely Christmas for the millionaire turned into an unforgettable experience, all because of a simple act of kindness from his new maid. Surrounded by opulence yet devoid of warmth, he had resigned himself to a quiet, uneventful holiday. But when the maid invited him to share dinner at her humble home, he stepped into a world so different from his own, a world filled not with luxury, but with genuine love, laughter, and togetherness. The contrast was striking, and yet it was exactly what his heart had been yearning for without realizing it. That evening became a turning point in his life. Sitting at a modest table, surrounded by the joyful chatter of the maid's family, he experienced emotions he hadn't felt in years: belonging, warmth, and connection. The simple decorations, the homemade food, and the laughter shared across the table created a sense of intimacy that no grand mansion or extravagant gift could ever provide. It reminded him that the spirit of the holiday wasn't in lavish celebrations, but in human connection and heartfelt gestures. The encounter reshaped his perspective on life. He realized that wealth alone cannot fill the void of loneliness and that the smallest actions, an invitation, a shared meal, a welcoming smile, can have profound effects. By the end of the evening, what had started as a solitary holiday transformed into a cherished memory, one that would stay with him far longer than any material possession. This heartwarming transformation illustrates a universal truth. Joy and fulfillment often come from unexpected places, and sometimes opening our hearts to others is the greatest gift we can receive. For the lonely millionaire, this Christmas was no longer defined by solitude but by love, warmth, and the lasting magic of human connection.